Time for our hot topic of the day, sponsored by Burger King. $1 mini shakes are now at BK. Dak Prescott and the Cowboys have reportedly not been close to a deal, as the deadline is now only hours away. Also, earlier this week, it was reported that the two sides had hardly talked since March. So, Shannon, let's talk PR here. Who is winning the PR battle between Dak and the Cowboys?
The Cowboys, because the teams always win. Because for some reason, Skip, I don't know how the owners have done it. I don't know how the billionaires have convinced the fans that the millionaires are greedy. But they've done a great job of that, because when you look at the baseball situation that was going on, how dare those greedy baseball players? They're wanting too much. They should come back and let us have something to watch on TV. Well, the owners are not taking any risk. I guarantee you won't no owners be down there when they come time to play these games, Skip. Guess where they're going to be? Secluded in their humble abode. The same thing here, because what happened was, and I told you, Jerry and Steven planted these seeds when they went to that podium and said, you know, it's all about winning. And they planted the seeds that if Dak doesn't give us a discount, he doesn't care about winning. He's being selfish. What? No. I watched Peter get paid in accounting. I watched everybody. I watched David in production get paid. And so now my turn to get paid. You gonna tell me, well, Shannon, we need you to take a haircut so we can pay Helen and HR. Not with my money you won't. And that's what's happening, Skip. Dak has watched everybody get paid. He watched Ty Smith. He watched his right guard, Big Zach Martin. He watched Zeke and Amari and D-Law, Jalen. Skip, everybody's got paid. Dak like, what about me? What about me? What about me? Your turn's coming, Dak. Just be patient. Okay, what about me? Now it's his turn. Nobody else is giving a discount. Nobody else. Jerry didn't mention it. Ty Smith was the highest paid tackle at the time. Zach Martin was the highest paid. Zeke was the highest paid. Amari's number 2. Now you want Dak to give you a haircut. Dak said, well, I like my hair just fine. So, Skip, I don't know how owners have been able to do this, Skip, but in every sport, they will side with the owners and say the players are greedy, realizing that it's the owners that have the stranglehold on what they give out. But for whatever reason, the fans always, I guess, Skip, because the player leaves, I still have the loyalty to my team. But they've convinced that the owners have done a great job of convincing the fans that players are greedy.
All right, before I give you my answer to this question, I throw this back at you for your insight into this. After George Floyd got murdered on Memorial Day in Minneapolis, this world changed. I'm hoping for the better. I don't know that. But it potentially changed for the better. There's a new racial sensitivity operating at the highest level right now around the world, but especially in this country. Attacking racist symbols, statues, nicknames, anything that got grandfathered in, sort of got in under the radar. Nobody really focused. Now, especially the white community is saying, wait a second, that? Okay, I give you that as the backdrop to a deadline that's approaching in which we have a white owner who's not all that beloved, who can be seen, you know, I'll get to that in a second, but not all that beloved, and he is locked in a battle with the black leader of the franchise, the face of the franchise, the black quarterback, Dak Prescott. And you would think that that would sway much of the public in that guy's favor, number 4's favor, because that's the time we're in. That's why that nickname in Washington, D.C. of that football team just got changed. Because that's the time we're living in. Do you think that operates here at all? Because I'm not sure about it. And the point is, I don't think Jerry Jones could care 1 second about this or be influenced for 1 second.
He does not care about it, Skip. And I think the thing is that, see, what you have to realize, Skip, is that the fans, they look at it like, okay, I'm making $50,000 or I'm making $40,000 a year. And here's somebody, and they're grappling over, he wants more than $35 million. Well, and they always say, well, I'll take it. You being greedy. But you have to put it in your terms, Skip. If somebody, you're making $50,000 and they come to you and say, we want you to give us $10,000 back so we can hire somebody else, you're going to say you out your mind. So you have to take it out of, you can't look at your situation and compare it to Dak's situation. Dak says, I watched everyone get paid. It's my turn. why do I have to get, because maybe you're right. Maybe because he's looking at the D-Law deal, maybe he's looking at Zeke. It's like, yeah, y'all got me, I overpaid. So I'm gonna try
all got him good.
Right. So I'm gonna try to make it up on this. Dak like, well, why you try to get back on my contract? Get back on the next guy, get back on Gallup. When Gallup's available or CeeDee Lamb, take it out on them. But I need my money.
Which is why I still believe that somehow, some way, believe it or not, Jerry Jones, who can be seen as a villainous figure, I think he's winning the PR battle within Cowboy Nation. I can only speak for Cowboy fans because I'm one of them. And I'm lifelong. I was just raised in this tradition. Went to my first game in their first year at the old Cotton Bowl. And so I got it in my blood. And to me, I know for a fact that Jerry Jones is notorious for overpaying his son. That's not his son.
Correct.
That's the one guy who said, no, I'm going to remain objective here. I don't want to buddy up to you. I don't want to get too close to you because I want my locker room to trust and respect me as being objective here. And because of that, Jerry Jones is not going to overpay that guy. But Cowboy fans know that he just overpaid 3 players who had career worst years last year. So obviously, right now their mood is, well, don't do it again, Jerry, because we don't know this for a fact, but I'm pretty sure he's asking for 40+ million for 4 years, 42, 43. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but he wants somewhere in the ballpark of Patrick Mahomes, okay? God bless him for believing that strongly in himself, but at some point, Jerry Jones is saying, no, I'm sorry, that's too rich for even my blood, because I do overpay, but I can't overpay the quarterback, because if you overpay that guy, we're talking about twice as much as he overpaid DeMarcus Lawrence. 21.5 becomes 42, 43. Okay, that's the one you can't survive because it could cripple your cap for the next 4 to 5 years.
Skip, you mentioned something. You said that the Cowboys fans have seen Jerry Jones since he's on the team pay and overpay his stars. So when the fans look and says, well, Jerry is very hesitant to pay Zeke, there's got to be something wrong. Because, so he has to be asking for something unrealistic because for 30+ years, we've seen him pay and overpay. Jerry has never had a problem spending money. All of a sudden, he's pulling the purse strings back as his... Skip, you know Jerry worth $8 billion? He worth $8 billion now. So the fans are looking like, well, hold on. Jerry paid Dion, he paid this guy, he paid Roy Williams, he paid this one and that one. Jerry ain't never been cheap. Now all of a sudden, Jerry penny pinching. What's really going on? Yeah, Dak asked for too much. Dak asked for too much.
No,
that's how they're looking at it.
Here's my other shock about this negotiation. Every other negotiation that I have closely followed or covered that Jerry participated in, he can't help himself. He's going to talk. And if it ever gets strained, he's going to unleash on the player. What did he do? Remember what he said about Zeke during training camp last year? Zeke who? And then when everybody said, how dare you, Jerry? He says, I have earned the right. Because he meant he's that close to Zeke, I can kid with him. I can get away with it.
And plus, did you see I go to bat for him?
Yes, and did he?
I tried to up in the commission.
He did.
Because for my guy.
I have earned the right to do that. So I look back at all the negotiations past, going all the way back into the Landry era, Tony Dorsett, Randy White. They're always ugly, negative, a lot of back and forth crossfire. And in this case, Jerry said not a peep, because I believe Jerry realizes this is the one where you're going to cut off your nose and spite your face. If you start to undercut publicly your quarterback, if you start to take shots at him or his agent, he's the face of your franchise. So that's the one where you draw the line and say, I got to shut up here. He's gone radio silent, obviously, on Black Lives Matter, but also on number 4. Not a word. Have you heard a word?
No.
We've heard some Steven of this. He's got to work with us. But Jerry has made no definitive statement where off the cuff he took a shot at Todd France, or off the cuff he said, Dak's got to grow up and realize we can't pay him that much. There's been nothing like that.
And Steven says, what Dak has to understand that when we save money, it doesn't go in Jerry's in our pocket.
He did say that.
And Dak is saying, hold on. Did you say if you saved money on all those other guys, you'd have had the money to pay me?
Yep.
So all the money you supposedly saved because everybody giving you these discounts so you can pay these other guys,
Yep.
you'd have enough to pay me. But
Yep.
because you didn't, don't think I'm going to give you a discount so you could turn around and then want to pay everybody else what they're asking for. Ain't going to happen.
Longest we've gone without hearing a lot from Jerry Jones. But, guys, I'm looking forward to this because Clarence Hill, friend of our show and writer, obviously knows everything inside and out with the Cowboys. He joins us after the break to discuss where it all went wrong with Dak and these negotiations. Stay with us.